He kind of, at this angle, looks like he's, what do the kids call it? Dabbing. He looks like he's dabbing.
Well, I don't know about dabbing, but this is the Sergeant Veteran for my Death Korps of Krieg kill team. Doing assembly now, but before that I was shaving off some of the hide bits from cutting and glued it to the base with some cement. Kit gives you a few different options, but I outfitted him with a chainsword and a plasma pistol.
Eagle-eye viewers will note that the figure has a coat of primer on it at this stage, and that was done off camera.
As we paint the pants, I painted an army painter uniform gray, and the uniform is in the Fang from Citadel. Next up I'm just going to start painting the leather, but any kind of light brown will work for that. For the boots, we're just using a darker brown, just a slight distinction from the backpack. I usually like to paint my characters like the box art. In this case, we're just using a lighter cream color to paint the rest of the backpack parts. For the gloves and the hoses, I'm using Vallejo's German gray. It's just a real nice dark color. I used Army Painter's plate mail metal to pick up some of the metallic parts. And finally we're painting the chainsword and the plasma pistol in black.
It just sounds like you're saying that wrong. It sounds like you're meaning to say chain saw, but you get confused halfway through and say chain sword. It sounds ridiculous.
Base coat of the paint is pretty much done at this point, but now we're going to go back with the metallics and paint on top of some of the other colors that we had before, like on top of the chainsword and on the gauntlets or something on these gloves. For the final details, I'm just using a bronze color on the helmet and some of these other pieces and emblems. To dirty the bottle up, I'm going to be using Winter Streaking Grime, which is enamel based paint.
Probably time to get a new mat. That one's getting kind of grossed up.
Yeah, you should be a lot more careful than me. That was pretty messy. But we can clean it off now with some Q-tips and some white spirits. Please note that the Q-tip can be kind of aggressive, so we might use something a little bit more gentle. After that dries, you can move on to start putting some highlights on the coat. Here I'm using kind of a quartet of colors, starting again with that Fang and then moving it up into brighter and brighter blues. Just kind of a montage here of stippling and dabbing to try to put a little texture on the coat as well, but getting from a darker blue up to a lighter blue, being sure to get the edge highlights in there as well. For the pants, I'm not going too far with this, but going back to the uniform gray to get that color back on top of everything that we muddied up, and again using kind of a stippling action to put texture. And same for the boots too, just bringing some of that color back, but not being too careful about it.
Just adding a little bit of hatching there to show the wear in the leather.
like with the other colors, we're just going to be working up to getting brighter browns, making sure to get the edge highlights. As with the other base colors, we're going to put the original color back on from what we dirtied up with the enamel here on the socks or gaiters or whatever these are, and the face mask as well.
Oh wow, he's upside down.
Yeah, it helps with painting. Kind of an awkward angle. It's easy to see a theme here. We have the plate mail metal again, but we're going to be putting lines on there as if it's been scratched up and used in battle. Gonna pick out some of these. Be careful not to get into the recesses like I just did. And once we have that, we're going to use a shinier silver in order to pick up some of these highlights, the edge highlights, and these buttons on the side. Sometimes you just start painting and you can see some things that you missed, so work carefully and you'll find even more buttons to work with.
Oh, too much. Control Z, Control Z.
I messed up in a few different places, but quick little wipe of the thumb and it mostly takes care of it. I'm not very good at these plasma glows, but in this case I'm going to give it another shot. First, putting the white back in. This is a very thinned down white color here. Get it to flow into the recess. Use your little thumb eraser if it gets on the side. But even if you're not good like me, you can just take your black paint and paint over it again. Then get a very thinned down blue, and that'll flow just in the recesses. And even if that doesn't quite work, you can come back with a white dry brush to go over the top. But even now here, I'm going to take that light blue and kind of go around the sides, and maybe that'll trick someone into thinking that it's glowing a little bit.
I like this black stuff. It gives it a lot of depth. But I feel like you're using maybe a lot of it.
Yeah, it's a lot. I'm going to continue with the bone oil and do some recess shading. Put some more depth into the shadows here. Just find some of the closed off portions, and underneath the pants here I found what could use a little more shadow and fill in those spots.
The base is always my favorite part, and I really love this base. We're using the Citadel Color Technical Astra Granite Debris, which was purchased especially for this project. And now just a little highlight over that Astra Granite base.
I think I could have done a few more things. I tried putting some barbed wire down, but couldn't quite get it to look right, so I just settled for a little bit more of a simple base. And always paint your rims.
And a little dab of glue. And some precision work with some tweezers. Love it. Love the base. My favorite part of the project.
In an attempt to enhance the edge highlights, I used a white dry brush and kind of dragged it around. I also tried to do some red demon eyes, but I just couldn't get them to quite work out, so I went with black instead.
And there you have it. A veteran sergeant from the Death Korps of Krieg. Did I get that?
Yeah,
I did it. And Jason gets annoyed with me, but if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you really like this video, remember to subscribe.